Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Finn Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Movino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squad's the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Finn Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Finn Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check.
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing this morning? I apologize. I've been absent. I was locked out on all my accounts, my X account, my StreamYard account. I don't know what the hell. These people will be crazy. But I'm back, and, you know, we going to talk about the Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. Listen, we're going to try to remain positive as we can. Obviously, we're going to try to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help us, God. But, man, oh, man, I'm still trying to get over the injury to Tyreek. That was absolutely devastating to this football team. It was devastating to me as a fan. I'm a big Tyreek Hill guy. And it hasn't always been that way. When Tyreek still first started putting up numbers in KC, I thought it was kind of like a fluke thing. He was just another fast guy that had a really good season. And Tyreek, you know, them Kansas City games with Buffalo, the back and forth and the things that Tyreek was able to do with the football in his hands made me a fan. And then when we traded for him, I was super stoked, super excited. And, you know, things didn't turn out the way that we would hoped. He had two fantastic years here in Miami. Then last year he was dealing with the wrist injury, a bunch of stuff off the field, including his marriage was kind of in shambles. So he didn't have the greatest year. This year was hoping he could get back on track. The season hasn't started out the best, but, you know, at the beginning of that Jets game, it felt like him and Tua were starting to get back on track, right? In that first half, I mean, you count the one play in the third quarter, but in the first half, 5 catches, 50-some yards. You know, he had a very good first half. It looked like him and Tua were getting on the same page. Just very sad that he went down, but, you know, the team will go on. And here we be, you know what I mean? Man, oh man, oh man. So let's see who's up in the building. Say our good mornings. Sean, what up? Michael, what up? Elwood, Young Buck, Marcos, what up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Cliff, what's up? Cat, good morning, good morning, good morning. Joe, what's up? Uh, Only the real survive. What's up? What's up? Man, oh man. So Miami Dolphins, Carolina Panthers, two teams that are struggling. Both sit at 1-3. The Miami Dolphins, have bet if they've played, are really 3 or 4 plays away from sitting at 3-1. And that's kind of crazy, right? As bad as the Miami Dolphins have played this year, we're only a couple key plays away from sitting at 3-1. Now, is this team a playoff team? Not in the least. Not the way they're playing right now. The first couple games of the season, I felt like Tua is really struggling with his pocket presence. He did not look comfortable back there. The last couple weeks, he's gotten a little bit better. It started in Buffalo. He's still a little bit antsy. Last week, I felt like he was a lot better in the pocket. But again, last week, we were able to do one thing that we weren't able to do in the previous weeks, and that's run the football. Run the football efficiently, because what does running the football do? Opens up the pass. It opens up that play action pass, and that's when Tua's at his most dangerous. That's when Tua's at his most dangerous, is when that play action pass is working and we can get them defensive players to jump on the run, and then we hit them over the top. So the Miami Dolphins need to be able to run the ball. That is key to the Miami Dolphins' success, obviously. Young Buck, we've been running the ball, but we haven't been running the ball enough. Like we're running the ball at a decent clip. We're just not getting enough carries. You know what I mean? We're just not running enough. And you're right. We're a couple plays away from being 0-4 too. You're absolutely right about that, Young Buck. Absolutely. Our fans are really positive unless it's a STD test. Oh man, you're crazy. 3 years in this offense. Tell me why Tua has no command over it. Obviously, a lot of it's to do with Tua's skill set, but I think a lot of it's to do with the complicated play calls from Mike McDaniel. You know, these play calls get in so late, and we see it all the time that the Miami Dolphins, we're on the cusp of getting delay of games constantly, because these play calls are so complicated. There's so many nuances in the play call. There's so many motions and things that by the time Tua sees what the defense is really offering us, it's too late to change the play. There's no time to change the play. There's no time to make adjustments on the fly. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Could this be the battle for the 2026 number 1 overall pick? I don't think so. Again, I think the Saints played really good against Buffalo last week. So I don't think so. I think this team has enough talent and I think they're going to continue to get better. I think our young guys who have really struggled, I think by the end of the season, they will play better. But I don't think we're a 1, 2, 3 win team. I think at the very least, this team's going to win you 5 games, and I don't think that's number 1 pick material. Only the real survive says, look at Mac Jones in San Francisco. Bro, tell me I'm lying. People that were here people that have been here, tell me I'm lying that I wasn't calling for us to sign Mac Jones over Zach Wilson. Listen, Mac Jones is to a point. They don't got the strongest arms. They're very accurate quarterbacks. They benefit from the players around them. Mac Jones showed me a lot last night, though. Mac Jones showed me an awful lot last night. That was a really good game last night. And Mac Jones is a fighter, bro. Mac Jones is a fighter. I bet you everything that the San Francisco 49ers are regretting giving Brock Purdy that money because Mac Jones has been phenomenal for him this year. Mac Jones is the perfect Kyle Shanahan quarterback. Like I said, he's a game manager, very accurate. He can do what Kyle Shanahan needs him to do. Get the ball in your playmaker's hands. But he looked phenomenal last night. He really did. And to think Zach Wilson's making considerably more money than Mac Jones is. I don't criticize Tua for throwing short passes. I criticize the play calling that we're throwing horizontal passes or passes behind the line of scrimmage. Tom Brady made a career out of throwing short passes. I mean, yeah, the 1 year Tom Brady had Randy Moss and they aired it out, but for the most part, most of Tom Brady's career, that was his game, being efficient, throwing short passes, getting the ball into players' hands, moving the chains. I really wanted Mac Jones. I thought Mac Jones would have been a really good backup for Tua Tagovailoa. And you know what? Maybe he could have, maybe he would have got an opportunity with Tua being, we know Tua's injury history. God forbid he gets injured. I don't want that to happen. But maybe Mac Jones would have been able to step in and we would have had our quarterback. You know what I mean? But I think Mac Jones, he can be one of these other quarterbacks. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker Mayfield, who've gotten second chances and been able to cash in and become real good quarterbacks in this league. Mac Jones could be that next player. He showed me an awful lot last night. A lot of toughness. Super toughness. Giving CMC the ball 30 times a game could be done by any quarterback. And that's true. But he was out there making throws, bro. He was, give him his credit where credit's due. I mean, I'm not a Mac Jones fan. I'm not an Alabama fan, so I'm not going to boost him for no reason. He did a good job. He made plays last night. Yeah, obviously having Christian McCaffrey in your backfield helps tremendously. Rams lost on that fumble, though, and screwed me out of a bunch of money. Joe, I didn't lose a bunch of money. I lost $700 on one bet and $200 on another bet. One of the bets I needed Puka to have 12 more yards, and the $700 bet I needed him to have 22 more yards. If Puka would have just had a normal Puka game, I would have won $900. Mac Jones' stat line is practically the same as Stafford. Yeah, I mean, listen, I felt like Stafford missed a couple throws yesterday. What a hell of a game, though. It was a great game. Parlays, or is that how you? Yeah, I mean, I create my own parlays. Like I go down and I pick, Puka will have. Well, I've just really started doing I'll click on the receiving and it'll give all the list of the receivers and it'll say Puka over 93 or under 93. And I've been doing a lot of those lately, but I do a whole list of them. But I had everything else on the parlay besides that. Mike Jones lost $1,600 on 4 yards the other day. Who was the player? I forget who the player was, but he lost $1,600 on 4 yards. Last year, I lost $1,200 on Geno Smith rushing for 1 yard. He had a whole quarter to get it, and he didn't get it. I needed him to get 1 more yard rushing. Them Vegas people sure know what they're doing. Sure know what they're doing. I don't know about that. Only the real survive. Achan's a hell of a player, right? He's a hell of a player. Christian McCaffrey's that dude, though. Devon Achan is a great player, though. He is a great player. That was definitely I didn't think he was going to be the player that he is when we drafted him. I thought he'd be a nice, third down back, possibly, in the passing game, but I didn't think he'd ever be a number one running back. Well, Joe, he's pieced together. He's had so many injuries throughout his career. And I worry about Cam Scatterbo. The way Cam Scatterbo plays, he's not going to have a long NFL career. He's shifted from elite to great. Yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey can still have spurts where he can be elite. You know what I mean? But outside Barkley right now, I think Achan is number 2 back in the league. He has our offense. Scatterbo is already using coloring books. Yeah, I don't know if Achan's number 2. You got Gibbs from Detroit. He's real nasty. He's a real nasty player. Detroit's got the best 1-2 combo in the league. Him and Montgomery. Gibbs and Achan are very close, though. They're very close. Gibbs and Achan are pretty much the same player. Jonathan Taylor, he's a bigger back. He's good. He's a really good back too. We could have had Jonathan Taylor, right? Instead of Noah Igbenogany. Jonathan Taylor could be on the Miami Dolphins right now instead of Noah Igbenogany. What up, Blake? You're getting an easy win this week in fantasy, you son of a gun. That's my bad. You're going to get an easy one this week. I accidentally had Jennings in my lineup. No order. Taylor, Cook, Henry, Saquon are the best 4. Bejan. You put Cook up that high? I mean, you're a Bills fan, so you're gonna. James Cook's having a great year, though. James Cook is having a great year. He had a great year last year. I do think James Cook benefits from Josh Allen being in the backfield with him, but he is having a great year. I don't know if I put him above Gibbs, and I don't know if he's better than Achan. Cook and Taylor will have about 1,500 yards this year. Yeah, I don't disagree. Indianapolis has looked phenomenal this year so far. Lost a tough game to the Rams last week. He's working with a negative lineman, poor pass design, already harder off snap. I mean, Miller, you can say that, but I mean, players produce. You can't knock someone. You can't predict what a player could do somewhere else. You know what I mean? So James Cook is a phenomenal player. I think he's surpassed. I didn't think he'd ever be the player his brother is, and he might have surpassed Dalvin Cook at this point. But Dalvin Cook did have a good career in Minnesota. So anyway, the Miami Dolphins had the Carolina Panthers this week. We got 1 win. Can we make it 2 in a row? The Carolina Panthers are a bad team. The Carolina Panthers almost moved on from Bryce Young last year. He finished the season good. They decided to bring him back. Another Alabama undersized quarterback that has good accuracy. When the Carolina Panthers were talking about moving on from Bryce Young last year, that's another player that I said, Miami, go get him to back up Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I think I think a lot of his struggles have came from the team that he's been on, the Carolina Panthers. I think if you give him the amount of talent that Tua has over in Miami, he could play as good as Tua. I think he would have been a fantastic backup quarterback for Tua Tagovailoa because they can run the same system. Our running backs back used to only be 2 to 3 good ones. I mean, they don't. There's a lot more running backs by committee, and I think they're I think they're starting to get back to lead backs. I mean, back in the 80s, early 90s, there was a lot of really good running backs, right? And then you got towards the 2000s and stuff, and there was a lot more running back by committee. You know what I mean? Teams like to use 2-3 backs instead of one superstar back. Yeah, it was definitely committee for a while. I'm glad that they're getting back to star running backs. I really am. I think it makes the game better. I mean, if you think back to the early 90s, you had Barry, you had Thurman, you had Emmett, you had there was so many good backs. Barry Foster from Pittsburgh, Ricky Waters. It's just so many very good running backs. I think the NFL did that on purpose. They were starting to get paying big. Well, I mean, the NFL seen that, you can get production and you can use 3 cheap players that one can catch, one can get you short yardage, and one's your speed back. You know what I mean? You can use 3 different players instead of this one player that's getting beat up constantly. Nah, bro, Bryce is not it. Reports come out of NFL scouts are reporting Bryce's time is at running out. Sure it is. I'm sure it is. Teams do not give young players as much time to develop as they used to. Can we admit to that? Teams, a player would come out of the draft and a rookie would have 2-3 years to get to develop into the player that they were going to be. You know what I mean? And now we're talking about players are bust after 2 games, which is absolutely crazy in my opinion. The fact that there's Dolphin fans out there saying Kenneth Grant is a bust, that's wild to me. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. And if you're one of the people that feel like Kenneth Grant is a bust, you're gonna be proven wrong. You're gonna be proven wrong. Give this kid a chance. Let him develop. Christian Wilkins wasn't great coming out of college. Christian Wilkins wasn't a great player coming out of college. He wasn't great here his first couple years. You got to get, some guys, yeah, you get lucky and they come out and they're phenomenal. Some of the guys come out and they're phenomenal and, you get lucky. But some guys need time. Some guys need time. Look at Patrick Paul. Look at Patrick Paul just last year. Everybody would have said he was a bust. He played terrible the small amount of time he did get to play. And now this year, he's looking like he is a franchise left tackle, right? But there's these well-established organizations that's making it hard to give the rookies time to develop. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. In a perfect world, you get these players. And I think that's that's where my expectations were so high for this team, is because I was expecting our rookies to come in and just be great off the jump, because that's what this team needed. If this team was going to be good, we needed Jonah to come in and be a stud. We needed Kenneth Grant to come in and be a stud immediately because of how many holes we had. And they just haven't been as good as we needed them to be. So here we're sitting as one of the worst teams in the NFL trying to stop the run. One of the worst teams in the NFL as far as offensive lines go. Kenneth Grant's going to be a good player in this league. I promise you that. I promise you Kenneth Grant's going to be a good player in this league. I think Jonah will end up being a good player in this league. I think that Jordan Phillips is going to be a good player in this league. Now, Chop Robinson, I'm very disappointed in Chop, but Chop hasn't. I feel like them pulling Chop in and out the game is not the right way to use him. This rotation that they're trying to do with, Chubb, Phillips, Chop, the fact that they're dropping Chop back in the coverage, Phillips back in the coverage, I don't like that. These guys are pass rushers. Let them come in and rush the quarterback. Cam Smith sucked. Our recent early picks have not been great. In fact, most of our earliest picks each year have not panned out. That's why I'm anti-tank. We will surely blow our next top 5 pick. Well, Joe, hopefully the same people aren't picking these players for us, right? Right? Hopefully if we have a top 5 pick, it's in the hands of somebody else. You can't say Chop's a bust. Not yet. Not yet. You can't say Chop's a bust yet. Let's not jump out the window, okay? Let's not jump out the window. Yeah, can y'all hit that like button for me? Help me get in the algorithm. Help me out. Well, Joe, he definitely needs to get stronger. Absolutely. I think all our rookies need to get stronger, all of them. And I know that Chop's not a rookie, but they all need to get stronger. And maybe he shouldn't have been that high of a pick. Maybe. To be honest, I wanted offensive line when we drafted Chop Robinson. Most of the top interior linemen were available when Chop Robinson was on the board. And we decided to go Chop Robinson. And, I liked his game at the end of the year. I think he gets to the quarterback good. He just doesn't finish. But he does got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger. But the Miami Dolphins, hopefully we have new people in charge of the draft. I've always been screw those picks kind of guy. If you can go get a player that is already a proven product, I could care less about those picks. But obviously, you got to build your team through the draft. You got to. If you want to get under the salary, you can't build a team with all traded players. You got to hit on some of the draft. And like I said, hopefully Chris Greer is done drafting for the Miami Dolphins. Joe, I really wish you'd leave that alone, bro. Yeah, look, I mean, that's why you can't say people are bust. Cam Wake's a perfect example, right? Look how long it took for Cam Wake to get great. And he turned into a beast. He was an absolute beast. One of my favorite Dolphins of all time. But let's talk some more about the Carolina Panthers. Let's take a look at the injury report. See who's in, who's out. All right, Storm Duck, he's going to be out. Cedric Wilson Jr., the Miami Dolphins traded for Cedric Wilson Jr. after Tyreek went down. This is the shit that doesn't make sense to me with Chris Greer. Cedric Wilson Jr. is dealing with injuries. He's not available for us. Why did we go get a receiver that's not able to even play for us? Why does that make sense? How does that make sense? Explain it to me. There's players out there that could come in and contribute immediately. Come in and help this team out immediately. But we go get Cedric Wilson Jr. That just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So Storm Dog, Cedric Wilson Jr. are not going to play this weekend. Ethan Bonner, he was limited. There's a good chance he goes. Darren Waller, limited, but I think he'll play. Jordan Brooks and Jonah, both full participants. They should play, barring any setbacks. With the Carolina Panthers, the big one, Chuba Hubbard, their starting running back. He is a pretty good running back. He did not practice again Thursday. We'll see about today. JT Sanders, their tight end, ankle, he did not practice. Cornerback Chin Smith Wade did not practice. And offensive tackle Turk Wharton did not practice. But the big one on this list is Chuba Hubbard. If he does not play, that Carolina Panthers offense is going to be greatly compromised. That'll be rough for them. All right. Dolphins D versus Carolina's offense. Our defense is ranked 26th in the NFL in total yards at 286 a game, 22nd in yards a game given up at 188, 27th in rushing yards a game at 98 yards a game, 21st in points per game at 20.8 we're giving up, 16th in with 8 sacks. We're second and third down defense, though. We're second and third down defense. That's a phenomenal number. 48.2% of the time, we're getting teams off the field on third down. And then we're 17th in the NFL, 5 takeaways. Wait, we only got 3 turn. Don't we only got 3? Maybe I got this lined up wrong. Yeah, I got this. I got them labeled wrong. My bad. So Dolphins defense is 26 in the NFL, giving up 378 yards. Don't mind the top of this. Dolphins D is 26 at 378 yards per game. 20th at 220 passing yards a game given up. 30th at 158 rushing yards per game. Listen, this team struggles to stop the run. We're 26 at rushing our points given up. We're giving up 29.5 a game. That's too much. 21st with 8 sacks. We're 31st on third down that we're not getting teams off the field, 51%. And 19th in turnovers at 3 turnovers. We only taken the ball away 3 times. Carolina's offense, they got 289 yards a game. That's 24th. 189 yards passing a game. That's 21st. They're rushing for 100 yards per game. That's 26. Scoring, they're only hitting 19 points per game. That's 26. Their offense has only given up 6 sacks, which is 10th. Third down conversions, 38.2. That's 20th. And they've turned the ball over 6 times. That's 22nd in the NFL. Sorry that these are labeled wrong, guys. Dolphins offense is 26 in the NFL at 286 yards per game, 22nd in passing yards per game at 188, 27th in rushing yards at 98 yards per game, 21st at we're scoring 20.8 points per game. We've given up 8 sacks, which is 16th in the NFL. We got a very good third down offense at second at 48.2. And then turnovers were 17th with 5 turnovers. Their defense has been decent in some aspects, especially against the pass. They're 19th in total defense, 12th against the pass, 23rd against the rush, 19th in scoring, 32nd in sacks. They do not get after the quarterback. 15th in third down efficiency, getting teams off the field. And they're 10th with 5 takeaways. I don't know if they're the reason they're so good against the pass is because they're getting beat, so their teams are running a lot more. This graphic hurts my eyes. Sorry. Well, I think Chubb was the better running back. Rico's not a bad running back, but he's all right. The thing here is Bryce Young operates like a mobile Tua. He utilizes the run game to pick apart defenses. See, if we can stop the run, I'm all right with everything else. If we stop the run, play action pass doesn't work as well. If there's no threat of a running game, play action doesn't work well. That's why our play action struggled. You got to run the football efficiently for play action to work the way it's supposed to. Now, I think the Miami Dolphins, I think this is a week with Hubbard out. If Hubbard's really out, I think this is the week that, maybe Kenneth Grant has a good game. And maybe it's superficial because Hubbard's out, but maybe this gets their confidence up. Maybe this gets them playing. Maybe this gets them the confidence they need to step their game up. And you shouldn't take no team for granted. No team is a guaranteed win in the NFL. None. 0. No team is a guaranteed win. Any team can beat you on any given day. But it does help that one of their best players is out. Let's take a look at the stats leaders for each team. Okay. So Bryce Young, he's 87 of 144, completing 60% of his passes for 753 yards. Only 188 a game, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, been sacked 6 times. He's got a quarterback rating is 77.1. Hubbard's got 53 carries, 217 yards, 4.1 yard per carry, no touchdowns. He got 54.3 yards per game. Rico, who should be their starter this week coming up, 28 carries, 83 yards, only averaging 3 yards a carry. They're all pro right guard. You know this name, Robert Hunt. He's on injured reserve, so that's a big piece to the puzzle that they're missing. But Rico's only averaging 3 yards a carry, 1 touchdown, 20 yards a game. Bryce Young, he has 10 carries, 53 yards, nothing crazy. 5.3 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. Is he a threat? Yeah, he's a threat, but is he going to run all over you like Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? No. McMillan, the rookie wide receiver, he's had 35 targets, 18 catches, 279 yards, and has not gotten in the end zone yet. Hubbard is a big component out the backfield. 13 catches, 94 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Again, Hubbard should be out, so that's a big loss on their end. Hunter Renfrow, check him on third downs. He's that possession receiver, a player that can get Bryce Young out of trouble. He's got 13 catches, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They like to use him in the red zone, not because he's a big player, but because he's a shifty player. He can shake you out your boots and get open. And then let's take a look at the Dolphins. Oh, shoot. God dang it. All right, it's already as big as I can make it. All right, the Miami Dolphins leaders. Tua Tagovailoa is 79 on 114, completing 70% of his passes for 752 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Devon Achane, 50 carries for 246 yards, averaging 4.9 yards a carry, which is great. Just doesn't have a lot of carries. He's got 1 rushing touchdown, averaging 61.5 yards per game. Ollie Gordon, 18 carries, 60 yards, 3.3 yards a carry. You want to see him get the ball more. He has 1 touchdown. And then receiving, Tyreek Hill, 21 of 29, 265 yards, 1 touchdown. Obviously, he's gone for the year. So Jalen Waddle, next man up, right? Jalen Waddle, you prove you're a true number 1 receiver like a lot of the fan base thinks you are. I'm not on board with that. I don't think Jalen Waddle is a true number 1, but he's got an opportunity to show. He's got an opportunity to prove. Let's see how he plays when the opposing defense is preparing for him, where he's that number 1 target. He's got 17 catches for 185 yards, 2 scores this year. Achane, big part of the passing game, 19 catches, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Malik Washington's got to get more involved. He's got 8 catches for only 15 yards. Tanner Conner, 3 catches, 6 yards. Darren Waller, 3 catches, 27 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darren Waller's going to have to be a big piece. Nick Westbrook-Akine, they're going to have to use him. No one player is going to replace Tyreek Hill. No one player is going to be able to replace Tyreek Hill. It's not going to be one player that replaces Tyreek Hill. Yeah, Michael, I'm going to go live for the game. Come check me out on the live stream with the game. I think you'll have a good time watching it with me. I'm very animated. very animated. So come check it out. I think you might have a good time. I know you guys probably watch the game with whoever you typically watch it with, whether it's TD, Doug, this, that, one, or the third. But come check me out. You might have a good time. And that's Marcos. That's a big Marcos. Jimmy Horn Jr. And if he lines up against, which you would think he would, against Jalen Waddle, how's Jalen Waddle going to perform? Jalen Waddle's not used to getting the top corner on him on a week-to-week basis. I think Jalen Wright is back, isn't he? What up, Pete? What up? Yo, I want to say thank you to Pete. He made a bet with me, right? He made a bet with me on Cam Smith, and he's going to be a man of his word and pay up. And I appreciate that. So I want you to let you know, if you ever make a bet with Pete, he's a good dude. He going to keep it real, and he going to pay you, but he going to be a man of his word. Kenneth Grant needs to step up sooner. The bus syndrome will play. The 13th overall pick has expectations. That's what comes with it. Did you send it? Let me check, Pete. Nah, I didn't get it. Yep, I got it. I got it, brother. Good looking. Good looking. Yeah, Jimmy Horn Jr., Marcos. That's what I meant. All right, let's talk about the 5 keys to victory, how the Miami Dolphins come away with a win on Sunday. I appreciate that, Pete. Like, good looking, brother. Me and you can bet anytime. Nah, Pete's a good dude. I'm a subscriber to Pete's channel. Obviously, you know, that's how I know when Pete's live. I get on there and I say some stuff sometimes. People are brutal though. I do this I do it because it's fun for me, and people always want to turn things into a competition. I'm not in to compete with anybody. I'm a Dolphin fan. I like talk Dolphin football. You know what I mean? 5 keys to victory. Number 1, play the potential. I think the Miami Dolphins are a more talented football team. I think the Miami Dolphins have a more talented football team than the Carolina Panthers. I think that if our guys play the way they should, we should beat the Carolina Panthers. I think Tua is the superior quarterback. I think we got the superior running back. I think at this point, our receiving core is better. Darren Waller, I think, is the better of the tight ends. I think as far as pass rushers, we have more talent on that side of the ball also. Rasul Douglas is playing like a top-rated corner in the league right now. I think we got a better team than the Carolina Panthers. Pete, you think we about to get blown out? You want to make another bet? You want to make another bet? Nah, I refuse to bet I refuse to bet that the Miami Dolphins are winning anything. But I think the Miami Dolphins got a more talented team. I think they got a more talented team. These aren't in any order. Well, Richard, that's obviously stopping the run helps you win. So stopping the run is going to be one of those things. And I'm going to tell you this, the Miami Dolphins are going to hold the Carolina Panthers to under 100 yards rushing this week. So I'm going to say, number 2, stop the run. Stop the run. We are going to have our best game of the year as far as stopping the run. We're going to clog up that middle. It definitely helps that Hubbard is not going to be available for the Carolina Panthers. So the Miami Dolphins are going to stop the run this week and bottle up that Carolina offense. I know Rico's starting. We're gonna stop Rico. We're gonna stop Rico. So stop the run. Number 3, take advantage of the Carolina Panthers linebackers. These linebackers struggle in coverage. Get the ball to Darren Waller. Get Achane lined up against these linebackers. Get Westbrook Ikine lined up against these linebackers. Take advantage. These linebackers are terrible in coverage. Get Achane out there lined up against these linebackers. Darren Waller. Get Darren Waller more involved. He looked great last week in the limited time that we've seen him. Take advantage of their weakness. And their linebackers are weak in coverage. Number 4, run the football. Run the football. Obviously one that you can put in there every week, right? Run the football. We're running the ball at a pretty good clip. We just cannot get away from it. Run the football. Keep running the football. Get Ali Gordon more involved. Get Achane his carries. Do not abandon the run. Do not abandon the run. Feed them more. Feed them more. Feed them more. Would be smart to lose this game. A win here would compromise our draft pick. See, hopeful, that's a whole different conversation. You know what I mean? That's a whole different conversation. If you want to go that way, obviously winning this game would definitely hurt us. If we're talking about that dreaded the dreaded word of tanking, then obviously winning this game would hurt us. But I mean, I don't think Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer have the job stability to be tanking. So I don't think we're going to go in that position. Should we? Maybe we should. Maybe we should be tanking. Maybe we should be tanking and blowing everything up for a new rebuild. But do I think Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel are going to be doing that? Run to the outside. Can't run up the middle with big 95 Derek Brown. Well, we have the ability to run to the outside. We'll see. Yeah, Hunt's still out. They can tank without trying. I believe in them. See, hopefully, hey, if that's the case, that's the case. This could be Ali Gordon's breakout game. 18 carries, 150 yards, 2 scores. I like that take, Pete. I like Pete's take this week. I could see it. I could see it. But running the football, if we can run the ball efficiently, that's going to open up the play action for Tua and these wide receivers. We need to do that. That's where Tua's the most deadliest, is when the play action's working. That's when he can get the ball into his playmakers' hands and they can get the job done. And number 5, we need these wide receivers to step up. These wide receivers need to step up. They need to make up. No player's going to make up for Tyreek Hill. They're going to have to do it by committee. We're talking the Washington boys, Nick Westbrook-Akine, D. Estridge, they're all going to have to contribute. They're all going to have to do their part. And the Miami Dolphins wide receivers need to play above themselves. The Miami Dolphins need to play above themselves, especially at the wide receiver position. Somebody's got to make up. 1 week it might be Malik. 1 week it might be Nick. But it's each week some other player is going to have to step up and make up for the loss of Tyreek Hill. Taj Washington should be playing. Taj Washington's that player. You get the ball in his hands. He's really good with the ball in his hands after. What he does after he makes the catch, that's where Taj Washington's really special. Theo Weiss is another option. I would have rather us brought Theo Weiss up than go and get Cedric Wilson. That Cedric Wilson signing makes no sense to me. Why sign a hurt wide receiver to replace a hurt wide receiver? Marcos, that's what I was saying. Your linebackers are very suspect in coverage. We definitely need to take advantage of that. I don't know how much Darren Waller can play, but he looked phenomenal last week. But if Darren Waller can play 30 snaps and they can get Darren Waller the ball 8 to 10 times, this team's going to be in trouble. What up, Cool Kev 88? So the big question is, do the Miami Dolphins get the win here on Sunday? Do the Miami Dolphins get the win on Sunday? I'm going to say yes, the Miami Dolphins win this football game. I'm going to say the Dolphins win 20-17. It's closer than I'd like it to be, but I think Miami pulls off the victory. I think Achane has a good game. I think Ali Gordon has his best game as a pro. And I think Tua spreads the ball around. Does Waddle look like the number one receiver we need him to? We'll see. But I think Tua's going to be able to get the ball in the hands of Darren Waller. I think the running game does what it needs to do to open up the play action pass for Tua. I think we see the best performance of the year as from our defense as far as stopping the run. And a lot of it's going to have to do with Hubbard being out. But we'll take what we can get. I think the Dolphins win 20-17. And it gets us one step closer to being back to 500. Then we have the Chargers coming to town. And folks, I truly believe that we can beat the Chargers. That trip from the West Coast is very difficult to make. Typically, we play the Chargers really tough. Let's be honest. If I'm being honest, I'm not a big Justin Herbert guy. I don't have a lot of trust in Justin Herbert. So I don't have the confidence in Justin Herbert to come across and necessarily give them an automatic win. Now, is there a good chance that we lose that game to the Chargers? Yes. There's a good chance. There's a good chance that the Chargers beat us. I think the Chargers got the better team. I think the Chargers got the better coach. But I'm not willing to give them the win. I think the Miami Dolphins can get to 3-3. And then the conversation begins, can we turn this all the way around and make a push for the playoffs? But it starts this week. We need the win this week. If we don't win this week, all that's for naught. But I think the Miami Dolphins can pull off the victory against Carolina Panthers. Both teams are struggling at this point, but I think Carolina's in a bigger shit show than what the Miami Dolphins are. And that's kind of hard to do. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I should be live tonight with Mike Jones for Laces Out. And then I'm going to live stream the game this weekend. Come check me out, even if it's just for a few minutes. Even if it's just for a few minutes, come check me out. I think you'll have a good time watching the game with me as long as you don't mind cussing, because I get a little antsy, get a little in my feelings, and sometimes I be cursing. I think we can reach 500, Richard. I didn't say playoffs. I'm saying enough wins to get Miller a tattoo. But anyway, check out the show tonight. I'm going to put the Game Changers link in the comments. Or no, I just popped the Game Changers link up on the screen. Where you can just take a picture and it should take you right there. A QR code. So that should be able to get you to the Game Changers channel. But come check us out on Game Changers. We're going to be doing our weekly picks over there tonight. And I should have some bets for y'all all if you're interested in that. I usually use FanDuel. So if you're interested in hearing Big C's picks of the week for FanDuel, come on over and check that out. But give me just 10 minutes of your time this weekend during the game and watch the game with me. If you don't love it, you can go back to your regular scheduled program. But I think you'll have a good time. But I will see y'all later. You know what time it is. Fins up to the day I die. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you all later tonight. Fins up. Peace.
Yo. Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami heat blazing. We scorching the floor. We know the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep. Call it football nirvana. Big C break it down. Got the stats in his veins. Play by play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field. Opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed. Leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle. Defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean. Whole squash the champ. Tune in. Big C got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast. It's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes. Repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful. It's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall. Got the world in our hands. Best podcast. Yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes. Setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.